This week on Dollars and Cents, we've got a special guest, and we're reporting from a totally different location. This is not our studio, it's my house. So join us for a special Couples and Money edition of Dollars and Cents.
Welcome to Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial, the home for financial advice in a language you can understand. Created by Marc Freedman of Freedman Financial, he and his team of certified financial planner professionals will discuss timely topics that help individuals and families make smart financial decisions. And now, get ready for this week's edition of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial.
Welcome back to another edition of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial. My name is Marc Freedman, and
Laura Freedman, special guest.
yeah, it's not Marion, is it? And it's not Christian. So we're bringing you a special episode of Dollars and Cents this week, not from the office, not from the studio, but from our home.
Yep.
Because it's Valentine's Day weekend, so we thought we'd bring you a little bit of a couples and money kind of show. And we thought, look, we've got 5 kids, right?
Last I checked.
It's still 5 kids. But they've all moved out, right?
They have.
What's it like being an empty nester?
Well, as of the last 20 hours since our last one left.
That's right, because she was home because she had a broken arm, broken wrist. So we're getting used to this life at home.
Yes, it's much quieter.
But, as we were thinking about this show for this week, we were talking about what's some of those pieces of financial advice that we gave to our kids that we thought, that's pretty good advice, and they actually took it from us. So I'm going to actually turn it over to Laura. I'm going to let her tell you a little story about a piece of advice that you thought was a good one that we gave to the kids. What do you think? And tell the folks back home. Don't look at me. Tell the folks here.
So have a couple things. First one is, if you can't afford it, don't buy it. Don't put it on a credit card unless you can pay that credit card off. Don't borrow money to buy something that you can't afford. So if there's something special, whether it's a Xbox or whatever the latest game is, or a piece of jewelry or a fancy outfit, save up that money and then buy it when you have that money saved.
Can you think of an example of when the kids have done that?
Mindy thought about this watch that she wanted. It's a Michelle watch, and she was thinking about it.
Wait a second. Let's let the audience know who's Mindy.
Mindy's our oldest. She's 28 now. But when she was maybe 22, 23, just starting out in the workforce, she really wanted this watch, and she waited on it for like 2 or 3 years to make sure she really wanted that watch enough to spend a little chunk of change on it. And she waited till she really wanted it and had the money, and then she finally, after several years, went and bought it for herself.
Yeah, despite the fact that she had a credit card. She could have certainly purchased the money on a credit card. She could have gone, hey, Mom and Dad, can you lend me some money so I could buy it? She chose a different route, right?
We offered to get it for her one year for her birthday, and she was like, nope, I want it to be mine. I want to save up for it. I want to earn it, and I want to see if I really want it. And she thought on it and finally got herself one.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing. I mean, that you save the money that you have, buy something before putting it, on a credit card. And we see so much of that today. Did you know that the average person has $16,000 in outstanding credit card? Did you know that?
I did not know that.
She did not know that. See, I shocked her a little bit with that information.
And then, so if you're talking to a couple, do they have $32,000?
Quite possibly.
That's
we'd have to
crazy.
take a look at the statistics, but it is amazing to me how many people put things on credit cards because it's so easy to use credit cards. Now, another thing that our children learned, and we taught them about, was the difference between a debit card and a credit card, right?
Right.
You want to share some thoughts on that?
Not sure what thoughts you want on that, but a debit card, you're spending the money that's already in the bank and it's going to go away. And a credit card, you actually need to be responsible for following up and paying that bill when it's due. Otherwise, you're going to accrue interest and pay extra money, which is silly.
Yeah, and as interest rates have gone up these days, if you look at credit card rates are in the 30% range right now. It's not even the teens anymore. Yeah, it's in the 30% range. It's crazy. And they actually put this little box on the credit card statement that talks about here's the minimum that you can pay, but here's how long it will take to pay off your credit card if you just pay the minimum. And still doesn't faze people. I mean, they continue to pay it. I oftentimes talk about situations where we've run into clients where they've had ample money in the bank account to pay off the credit card, yet they choose not to because then they said, well, then I'll have no money in my bank account. Any thoughts?
Yeah.
See, I'm throwing stuff to her today. She doesn't even know where we're going. What she's realizing is that when we do this podcast, there's really no preparation. Have you been prepared for anything for this podcast
I
today?
haven't. I was told to show up.
And she's here, sat here. We've got the fire going. We've got the Valentine's Day designs. Now, one of the things that you'll notice about our house is this display of gnomes. You want to tell the story about the gnomes?
Are we talking about money and wasting it?
Oh, what? I think I'm about to get burned here, but go ahead. You can tell the story of our gnomes.
All right, a few years ago, Mark saw gnomes for Hanukkah at TJ Maxx, and he bought, what they had. They might have had 5 or 6. Some of them were the same, but he bought, 2 of them. And then over the next 24 hours, we had 60 gnomes in our house.
16 gnomes?
60 gnomes in our house over 24 hours.
I thought they were cute. And where did we get them? Where did we find them?
TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls,
And
all of those.
Yeah, so this thing started this started during Hanukkah, right? During the holidays. And for whatever reason, I decided, well, let's make gnomes are something that we collect here in the house. And so it has become one of these traditions in our house now that with every holiday, we have an overabundance of gnomes, don't we?
Yeah, we're going to put the Valentine's Day ones and pull out the St. Patrick's Day ones soon.
Yep, then we'll have springtime ones, and then
4th of July. We get them all. Halloween.
And so people know that when they come to our house, as much as I think we've kind of overdone it with the gnomes, everybody wants to bring something that has a gnome theme now.
We have like bottle toppers and little cookie jars that are gnomes. Certainly mugs, lots of mugs that are gnomes for all the different holidays.
Yeah, we've got lots of that kind of stuff. But anyways, back to this idea of financial advice that we've given to our kids. I'll tell you, one of the things that I enjoyed, that I enjoy seeing my kids do, and we started this a long time ago. Look, we like to go out to eat. Actually, when you were a kid, how often did your parents take you out to eat?
Sometimes once a week on a Sunday for Chinese food. That was our night out.
But it wasn't like 3 or 4 times a week or running out to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. No, because none of that stuff even happened.
Out,
no. But today, it seems like we go out to eat more often than not. And so one of the things that we thought was important with our kids was to teach them how to figure out the tip. And so...
That's right.
Right?
Yep, and the kids used to pay with their debit cards that they had. And so we were able to teach them how to use the debit card and how to pay at a restaurant at the same time.
We'd go to the 99, and Corey, for instance, would say, "Oh, I got it, Dad." And so he'd pull out his debit card and hand it to the waitress. The kid could have been 12 or 13 years old.
I don't even think he was that old.
little did the server know I was going to transfer money back into Corey's account. That wasn't the problem. But Corey would get the check, and he'd have to figure out the tip. So all of my kids are very comfortable going out to restaurants, and it always blew my kids' friends away when they would go out as friends in high school, how quickly everybody could calculate the tip. They thought nothing of it. Or they thought nothing about how do we split the bill? How do we use Venmo? How do we do all of those things? Those were great skill sets that we gave to our children.
Yeah, important life lessons.
And
need to know
and so, now with our kids being on their own, one of the things that I see them wasting money on, though, and it drives me insane, I know it drives you insane too, is what?
Uber Eats, delivery, any food delivery services. And it's not like they go through the restaurant. They're going through these third-party apps and paying sometimes more than the food costs to get stuff delivered.
And they think nothing of it. They think, well, it's just the cost of service.
Yeah, the generation of our children now is a generation of convenience.
Yeah, so our kids today seem to embrace this idea of paying service charges, whether it's Uber Eats, whether it's DoorDash, whether it's paying for tickets. Anything and everything that they do has to have some kind of a service fee, and they think nothing of it.
And then they tip on top of that.
Exactly.
On things that you didn't used to tip on.
Right, yeah, this tipping thing has really, I think, gotten way out of hand.
Overblown.
And I just don't understand it. So this week, my children asked me if I could get tickets for us to all go to a comedy show in Beverly, Massachusetts. And I went online. The tickets were $35 a piece. Fine. I went to place the order for 5 tickets. And I noticed that there was an $8.35 service charge.
Per ticket.
Not for the order, per ticket. And we thought, what?
That's like 25% of the cost of the ticket, which is crazy.
And our kids are thinking, but Dad, that's just the way it is. And I'm thinking, no, there's smarter ways to buy tickets and do these kinds of things. What could have we done?
I like the old-fashioned way. Go to the theater.
You can go to the theater, you go to the box office. Box office is open all the time. I mean, just because you don't have to go there the day of the show, you could actually go to the box office. And here I am, my office is in Peabody. Beverly is a 5-minute drive away. It's pretty easy to be able to just walk in and buy the tickets. And my kids are like, Dad, you're just wasting time, you're wasting time, you're wasting time. Well, the amount of money that children these days, I think, are spending on service fees is outrageous.
For the convenience. It's a generation of convenience.
And I just amazes me with concert tickets, things like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, has anyone tried to get a Taylor Swift ticket lately? You're spending...
Well, her tour's done now, so, you know.
That's true, not lately.
Not lately.
But people spent over $1,000 for a ticket. It's crazy. And they are insisting it was worth it. I guess some people it is worth it, but...
I guess, there's a price for everything that has value to it, but, we're trying to instill values in our children that talk to them about the value of money. I mean, I think you and I grew up in a world where we didn't have all of these opportunities to spend money on all of this stuff. First of all, a lot of the stuff that's available today wasn't available when we were kids, right?
True.
And so, like, when you were young, how did you travel? Did you just hop on an airplane anytime you wanted to?
Oh, no, we didn't. Well, you got to define travel. Like, where did we go? Our vacations growing up were to go visit Grandma and Grandpa in New York or to go visit the cousins in Ohio. And we got in the back of the station wagon and we went for that road trip. We didn't fly. I think I flew once my entire childhood.
And now we fly all the time. And my kids, who are now 21 to 28, think nothing of, oh, we're just going to go and we'll just get a plane ticket and go. And it's just amazed me. They think nothing of eating out. They think nothing of ordering, like we said, DoorDash and all of these various items, or buying concert tickets, or buying fancy clothes or shoes, or...
But we are dating ourselves because there was no Starbucks back then, and we all had the Mr. Coffee 12-cup pot. They didn't have the luxuries in our day that they have now.
You just called us old.
I meant you. You're old.
And that's going to do it for us this week for our Valentine's edition of Dollars and Cents. If now's the time for you to get serious about your financial planning and investment management needs, I hope you'll give Freedman Financial a call. Our phone number, 978-531-8108. That's 978-531-8108. And let's see if you know how we respond to the email thing, Laura. If you want to get information about the firm, you want to get our newsletter that comes out every Friday at 10:30, all you need to go to do is go to our website, FreedmanFinancial.com. That's Freedman.
2 E's and a D.
Financial.com. It's that simple. She learned that from Marion. That's going to do it for us this week. We'll see you again next week with more Dollars and Cents. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
During today's episode of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial, your host may have discussed specific financial planning and investment ideas that are for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations. Please remember that investing involves risk and may include loss of principal. Always consult a certified financial planner professional, qualified attorney, or tax advisor prior to investing to determine what is appropriate for you. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.